Hi there, this is Missy from Barefoot Ladies, and this is my European beer adventure. So, some of you may know I'm in the military and I just spent the last 9 months in Europe. So, the first place I went was Germany. There was lots of beer there. What they said is true, it is as good as anybody has said. It's probably the best beer I've ever had. I didn't think that would be what it was, but it really was good beer and a large variety, a wide variety of beers. Uh, there were breweries in every town that I visited. You'll see some of these photos I took. I promise you they weren't all on the same day, but I had a limited number of articles of clothing to wear, so that's why I look like I'm an alcoholic. I'm not. So some of these places I went, they made sure that they gave you the beer in the glass that that brewery has. Other places like this one with the bottle. And this one, I just bought a bottle of beer. This is the normal size bottle of beer, by the way, at a train station. I went to breweries like this one, Hofbrau in Munich. Um, I went to restaurants and just had a beer, outside, inside, whatever. I'd get a beer, regular burger joint like this, get a beer. And it's all local stuff. This was mostly in Bavaria. I did tour some Munich breweries. I went to Augustiner, like you see here. I also went to Lowenbrau. This is the Keller beer. It was delicious. I went to Polaner. This was a really good one. It was a wheat beer that I had there. I went to Hackershore. I ordered a Klein, which is a small beer. This is the smallest beer I could get. I went back to Hofbrau with friends. That's a liter of beer right there. And I went to Schneider at a Schneider Weiss. This was actually the first one on the trip. It was really, really good. The other thing I liked was all the beer gardens, just sitting outside under a canopy and having a beer. It was really great. I haven't had that before. And most places I ended up buying a mug like this one in Rotenburg Obertauber. I bought that stein there. I also went to France. I just ordered a beer and that's what was brought. I stayed at an abbey while I was in France. This was a beer they made at that abbey. It was really good. In my journey, I spent a little bit of time in Romania. I had this, it was Ursus. It was pretty good, a regular Pilsner style beer. And I also went to Bulgaria. This was the one I had more often than not. This is Gorka and Kamenitsa, which was kind of like the soda of beer. It was not that good. And then I found a craft brewery in Hills Brewery in Plovdiv. I had a lot of adventures with a lot of different types of beers. Spent more time in Germany than anything, and I'll tell you that I really did enjoy my time there. I learned a lot. I visited a lot of breweries. Mostly I was in Bavaria, so beer culture there is really serious business. I learned a little about the Reinheitsgebot, which is that purity law, and just like I said earlier, every town I went to, there was a brewery. Everybody had beer everywhere. And I really enjoyed it. And I tried to make sure that I tried different types of beer there. And the thing is you go one place and they have a beer and, maybe a Hell's, and you go to the next place, they have a Hell's, and it tastes completely different. It was really great. I highly encourage anyone who has the opportunity to go to Germany to take it, whether you're in the military or civilian or whatever. You should all try to go over to Europe. I had very limited contact in Romania, but that beer I had was pretty good. It was decent beer. And the beer in Bulgaria was, well, it wasn't that great, but I did find that small brewery, it's a craft brewery called the Hills in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. It was really good. It was a German Weissen style beer. And it was as good as any of those that I'd had in Germany. So there are a few breweries in Bulgaria that are actually pretty good. They're working their way up. The rest of those beers I had were kind of like, not to knock Budweiser, but there's not a lot of depth in beers like Budweiser, and a lot of their beers are that way. So I didn't get to brew a whole lot of beer in Germany. I did make a few very, very small batches to share with my friends, but I was limited in space. I was limited in time. I was moving around a lot, so it's not like I could just set something up for, a month and then not deal with it. Also, the thing is, a lot of places in Europe don't have air conditioning or real climate control, so all my beers were in much warmer, the few that I made were much warmer temperatures fermenting than I'm used to, way up in the 70s. So they came off with a little bit of weird flavors, but it was okay. It was all drinkable. Nobody died. Nobody got sick. But anyway, I do have more beers going now. As I got back in the U.S., I started making some more. I didn't make any videos for them, but they're pretty much the same stuff that you guys have already seen. I made a stout for St. Patrick's Day, and so that's sitting in the fermenter now. We'll see how that, I'll make a video, show you how that turned out. I also am trying my hand at a lager, like a true lager. There are some things about that I wasn't prepared for. Not bad, but just things that I didn't know. Like I've never heard anybody mention before. And then I'm experiencing it, and I did some research, and it turns out it's very common, so I don't know why nobody mentions that. But I'll put that in a video, another one. And I'm also going to try my hand at kegging. I've never kegged before. If you've looked at some of my other videos, I have what's called a beer box, which is a dispensing system. Definitely not a keg. You don't force carbonate. It's naturally carbonated. So this is going to be a little bit different for me. I bought a really small keg to start with, see if I like it. Didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money if I decided that kegging wasn't my gig. So maybe I'll make a video for that too. Anyway, I'm happy to be back in the States, back to making my beer, back to making my videos. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Just a brief overview of my time in Europe. And I hope you have your own beer adventure. Thanks for watching. Cheers.